Friends, so in today's live program, I'm going to Jolly Vijay Edition 3. So, supposed to be stand up comedy. Uh, so, because we're calling it stand up comedy, uh, I thought first I'll start with maybe a few jokes and then go on to the song of the day and the movie of the day, right? The song and movie, which song and which movie on the Republic Day, I'll reveal a little later. First, I'll be to kind of loosen us up, right? So, what do you call a dinosaur with an extensive vocabulary? A thesaurus. Why was a computer cold? Because it left its windows open. What did 0 say to 8? Nice belt. Why did the tomato turn red? Because it saw the salad dressing. What do you call a beer with no teeth? A gummy beer. What do you call a sleeping bull? A bulldozer. And why was the math book sad? Because it had too many problems. Which state of USA has the most number of streets? Rhode Island. And what's an astronaut's favorite part of the computer? The space bar. And what's the best thing about living in Switzerland? I don't know, but the flag is a big plus. What do you call a lazy baby kangaroo? A pouch potato. What happens if a strawberry gets run over crossing the street? It causes a traffic jam. Did you hear about the fire at the shoe factory? Sadly, many souls were lost. And did you hear about the shark that ate a clown? It felt funny after. I'm so good at sleeping, I can do it with my eyes closed. Have you read the book about super glue? It's really hard to put it down. Did you hear about the restaurant at the moon? That's great food but no atmosphere. And what's the Easter Bunny's favorite type of music? It's hip hop. Why did the girl toss a clock out of the window? Because she wanted to see time fly. And why was the snowman looking in the bag of carrots? He was picking his nose. What do you call a can opener that doesn't work? A can't opener. Why did one volcano say to the other, I lava you? And what do lawyers wear to work? Lawsuits. And when does Friday come before Thursday? Only the dictionary. And what did the boy say to his fingers? I'm counting on you. And why are balloons so expensive? Because of the inflation. And what do you get when you cross a snowman and a vampire? Frostbite. What did one wall say to the other? I'll meet you at the corner. Did you hear about the claustrophobic astronaut? He just needed a little space. And why do hummingbirds only hum? Because they didn't know the words. And where does the snowman get the weather report? The winternet. And what's orange and sounds like a parrot? A carrot. When potatoes have babies, what are they called? Tater tots. How do you catch a squirrel? Climb a tree and act like a nut. What do you call a train loaded with bubble gum? A choo-choo train. And why don't skeletons fight each other? Because they don't have the guts to do it. And how do you organize a party in space, outer space? You just plan it. And why did Mickey Mouse go to outer space? To find Pluto. The judge went to the dentist, and the judge asked the dentist, do you swear to pull the whole tooth and nothing but the tooth? Women are like computers. Even your smallest mistakes are stored in long-term memory for a later retrieval. It is not true that married men live longer than single men. It only seems longer. Men are like bike helmets. They are handy in an emergency, but otherwise they just look silly. So that's a set of jokes I prepared for you guys for today's program. Now we'll go to the movie and the song, right? So the song is any guesses, guys? Anybody? You can just type in. Unnal mudiyum, aha, unnal mudiyum thambi, thambi. Ingu unakkull irukkum unnai nambi. Unnal mudiyum, aha, unnal mudiyum thambi, thambi. So this is the song we are going to talk about today, and there may be a couple of related songs from the movie. So this movie is Unnal Mudiyum Thambi by K. Balachandar. It was written, I think it was a long back. I don't know when this movie came, but maybe I wasn't a school student. So maybe in the 1980s this movie was there. So Kamal Haasan is a son of a great Carnatic singer. Kamal Haasan's hero, his name is Udayamurthy. Okay, and he is son of Bilahari Marthandam Pillai, right? So this Bilahari Marthandam Pillai is a famous Carnatic singer in that area. I think somewhere in South Tanjore or something, Tiruvarur, I don't know, where people do a lot of this Carnatic singing and all that. It's in a village, basically it's a village. But Kamal Haasan is being trained in Sangeetam, Carnatic Sangeetam by his father. But he's not very adept in that, and he's good at singing and all that, he's good in music, but he has a lot of other interests, especially he's interested in social activities. Is interested in the general public, especially the lower downtrodden, the poor people. There are a lot of poor people in that village who are all suffering, especially because of alcoholism, right? The main issue in that particular village is alcoholism, and Kamal Haasan wants to fight it. He wants to fight this social evil. I think they say Kallasarayam at that time. So Kallasarayam, which means prohibition, was in. So there are a lot of nice scenes about alcohol, how alcohol affects the people's lives, a lot of and how he tries to transform them, many of them, from the particular thing. So that's when he sings to the people that you can. So what happens is there are in that particular village, one is this alcohol booze industry, and there is one particular villain who is doing this, doing this booze industry, and there is another guy who is having a match factory. So both these guys are the evil guys there, and they will not allow the particular village to grow because they want people to always drink, and they want the children to be in the match factory. So there is no schools. The schools are empty and all that. So he fights this evil in spite of being the son of Bilahari. Bilahari Marthandan Pillai is totally against his social activities and all that. And he also falls in love with a girl, Sita. There are a lot of very comical, very interesting scenes, as Kamal Hassan's romance is he's a very super duper romantic guy, you know, right? So there are a few interesting things in that love scenes. How we meet Sita. The first time we meet Sita, and she is fighting somebody who is eve teasing in a cinema line, and then because she boldly confronts that guy, and so he goes to her and said, "Ma'am, can I?" So this is very interesting how Kamal Hassan gives us a pickup line, right? He goes to Sita and say, "Ma'am, can I have an autograph?" You know, it's a nice pickup line, I thought. So, and she says, "No, I'm not such a big person to give autographs and all." And she walks away. And he asks, "So at least you can take my autograph, right?" And so that's I thought it's a very jovial, typical Kamal Hassan pickup trial. So he goes on behind that girl, and then finally he asks her, "What's your name?" And then she says, "It's LKA Malam." What Malam? Then a lot of jokes related to Malam. He says, "Emptying in the pier in a," and he goes and tells everything to his Anni. His Anni is Manorama. So, Anni na ponna paathen. So, Anna அந்த பொண்ணோட பேரை தான் என்னால் சொல்ல முடியாது, அது நீங்கள் சாப்பிடும் போது சொல்ல முடியாது நீ. ஸோ ஆல் தீஸ் ஆர் வெரி. அண்ட் என்னங்க பேர் உங்க வச்சிருக்காருங்க அப்பா, நான் வெளியே கூட அவங்க வந்துட்டாங்கன்னு கூட சொல்ல முடியாதுங்க, அந்த மாதிரி சொல்ல. Then finally she says, it's only a joke, it's LKA Malam means Lalita Kamalam. So that's she just pranked him, and then it goes on. But the thing is, this particular, and they fall in love with each other and all that. But this particular girl is daughter of one Mr. Anjaneya, who's a lawyer, and that guy is Mise Murugesh, and he's from a lawyer community. So she's also basically from a lawyer community, and that's how it. So basically, their marriage is vehemently opposed by Bilahari Marthandan. He doesn't want, because they are from the Pillai or whatever higher community, and this guy, this girl is from a so-called Harijan community. So the community issue is there. So once Bilahari Marthandan comes to know about their love affair and all that, he really vehemently opposes it. He doesn't want that to happen, right? So finally, I think Kamal Hassan goes out of the house and starts living with her, and then tries to get married. Not exactly living with her, but he kind of distances himself from Bilahari Marthandan, you know. So like that it goes on, and that's the context in which Kamal Hassan's life is under a lot of pressure, you know. Even at one point, this guy says he actually recruits another person to teach Sishya to teach Sangeet, and he ignores Kamal Hassan totally. So Kamal Hassan very vexed and asks why he is doing that, and he says, "You can inherit only my name or whatever, but you cannot inherit my Sangeetam and all that, you know. You don't have that thing." So he gets really, and he also challenges him, "Don't use my name, don't use my community name or anything. You just don't call yourself Udayamurthy Pillai or something. Call yourself just Udayamurthy and achieve something. And then I will maybe say one day, Thandai Maganuku Kaatrum Udavi, Avan Thandai Ennotram Kollenum Sol." So that Tirukkural is being used in the movie often. Once or twice they talk about this particular Tirukkural, which means what the duty of the son is to act in such a way that people should ask the father, "Are you the father of this particular guy?" You know? And to have such a son, what and all you would have, what and all davam you would have done, you know. Maybe they have meditated a lot, or maybe they have done a lot of purva janma punya and all that to have such a great son. So people should appreciate that he's having such a good song. So he says that when that state comes, I will recognize you. So this is an open challenge for Udayamurthy, and he goes to, he says, and another thing happens, like there is a guy who has fallen from the, from a particular light tower. This guy has fallen from a light tower, that tube-like thing, and he's a very critical condition. And Bilahari Marthana Pillai and Kamal Haasan are all going in their ambassador car, and they ask for a drop to the nearby hospital. And this Bilahari Marthana plays Gemini Ganesh, acted by Gemini Ganesh. So Gemini Ganesh refuses. He says he's on towards for his concert, so he doesn't have time for all this, and so he refuses it. And Kamal Haasan is sitting there silently watching, and they go. And while returning, Kamal Haasan tries to inquire what happened to that guy, and they find he's died because of delay in transport. So that shakes Kamal Haasan. He feels he's responsible for the death of this guy. They should have offered him the ride, and they should have saved his life. So he confronts his father, and there is a lot of confrontation. His father says, no, you have to focus on your life, personal life. You shouldn't think about poor people or loyaka, other downtrodden people, and you should start forgetting about all this and focus on your music. But Kamala is not able to focus on his music or anything. He is always worried about people, how they are suffering in the outer world, the real world, and how he can, in certain ways, he has a desire to act like a social worker and transform them. And that's when he talks to the children there, especially who are not studying, he says, and then என்னால முடியுமா, எங்களால படிக்க முடியுமா, நான் எங்களுக்கு வத்திப்பட்டி தான் செய்ய தெரியும். Then he sings this உன்னால் முடியும் தம்பி. தோளை உயர்த்து தூங்கி வீழும் நாட்டை எழுப்பு, உன் தோளை உயர்த்து தூங்கி வீழும் நாட்டை எழுப்பு, எதையும் முடிக்கும் இதயம் முன்னில் கண்டேன், உன்னால் முடியும், ஆஹா உன்னால் முடியும், உன்னால் முடியும் தம்பி தம்பி, உனக்குள் இருக்கும் உன்னை நம்பி. So raise your shoulder, raise your shoulder means do some hard work. If you work hard, you can contribute to the society. தூங்கி விழும் நாட்டை எழுப்பு. The entire country may be sleeping, but if one person can get alive and start working for this community, they can do a lot of positive things for this community. Right? So that's what we should take from this particular song, that there is at least one person is alive, one person decides and starts working. He can do a lot of good things. Okay. எதையும் முடிக்கும் இதயம் முன்னில் கண்டேன். So if a man decides in his heart, then he can actually do anything. It's possible. This name Udayamurthy is possibly K. Balachandar deciphered from or derived from the person called M.S. Udayamurthy, who lived at that time, who used to write a lot of self-development literature. And he also had a iyakam. I forgot the name of the Makkal Iyakam, Makkal Sakti Iyakam, I think. That's a M.S. Makkal Sakti Iyakam he was running. So possibly it's inspired by the life of that M.S. Udayamurthy, and he has kept that same name Udayamurthy to this character also. And here also Kamal Haasan and Sita started Amaidi Puratchi Iyakam in that particular village to transform especially the downtrodden, the alcoholics and all that, to transform their lives and to take it to the next level. So that is the how this name Udayamurthy comes. உன்னால் முடியும் தம்பி தம்பி, நாளைய நாட்டின் தலைவனும் நீயே, நம்பிக்கை கொண்டு வருவாயே, உனக்கெனவோ சரித்திரமே எழுதும் காலம் உண்டு. உண்டு உன்னால் முடியும் ஆஹா உன்னால் முடியும் தம்பி தம்பி. So the entire future, if you look at the future, it will always be dependent on the younger generation. So this is mainly addressed to the school children, this song. When he's singing with a lot of small guys and kids and all that, he's saying the entire future is guys are dependent on you children, and your education is very important for you. So you try to avoid this match factory thing and focus on your studies. So that's his advice, to these children. And the entire future, the entire country is going to be dependent on you. ஆகாய கங்கை காய்ந்தாலும் காயும் சாராய கங்கை காயாதடா, ஆழ்வோர்கள் போடும் சட்டங்கள் யாவும் காசுள்ள பர்க்கம் நிற்காதடா. குடிச்சவன் போதையில் நிற்பான், குடும்பத்தை வீதியில் வைப்பான், தடுப்பது யார் என்று கொஞ்சம் நீ கேளடா. கள்ளுக்கட காசில தாண்டா கட்சி கொடி ஏறுது போடா, கள்ளுக்கட காசில தாண்டா கட்சி கொடி ஏறுது போடா. மண்ணோடு போகாம நம் நாடு திருந்த செய்யணும், உன்னால் முடியும் அட உன்னால் முடியும் தம்பி தம்பி. So this is the next charanam. So even the Ganga may dry, but this alcohol problem will not be solved. So this, when he was written long back in 1986, still holds good. Even today, people are debating whether the taskmark should be there, whether can it be banned. But we see that it's not possible in reality, because whichever government comes and the entire finances are dependent on the revenue generated by the taskmark. Government is dependent on that. So it's not really possible to, whichever government comes, it's not possible to really have a prohibition. And the evil of this drinking is still continuing even in 2026. What was same, but here when this movie goes, it's like more like Kalla Sarai. They say it's not the normal arak. It's not the I think possibly they had prohibition at that time. And it says all the laws are in favor of the rich. People who do illegal activities, who says illegal brewing, Kallakasara and Kasar, the most of the laws are in favor of these guys. The laws may not be the favor, but the people who are interpreting, who are implementing, so illegally the song accuses the government for the alcohol. குடிச்சவன் போதையில் நிற்பான், குடும்பத்தை வீதியில் வைப்பான். So when a person is drunk, the entire family comes to the street, because he is spending all his whatever low income he has, he is using it for he already is doing only a very coolie job or whatever, and he earns a very low income, and that he is using for drinking. It's not giving anything to the family. And apart from that, he starts beating his wife or demanding money from his wife, and all this it's a day-to-day scene in every alcoholic low income status category, even today, because I deal with a lot of alcoholic tea addiction patients and all that. Apart from, I have seen a lot of alcoholic cases, and this is a very routine, typical scene. There is not exaggeration that people are literally on the roads because of the husband or the Kudumbattanivar, the leader of the family, is drinking, and the entire family is suffering because of that. Is a very true thing even today, and that's precisely what Kamal Haasan is targeting here. And he says, Kallukada Kasila Danda Kachigal Yerudu Poda. So only because of the alcohol money, it's used for the parties and all that. So that's also true. But we can fight it, we can overcome it. We have the power inside us, and he motivates the students to These are a lot of evils are there in the society. But as a society, we can fight it. கல்லூரி பள்ளி இல்லாத ஊரை கையோடு இன்றே தீமூட்டுவோம், கல்லாத பேர்கள் இல்லாத நாடு நம் நாடு என்றே நாம் மாற்றுவோம், இருக்கிற கோவிலை எல்லாம் படிக்கிற பள்ளிகள் செய்வோம், அறிவென்னும் கோபுரம் அங்கே நாம் காணுவோம், வானம் உங்கள் கைகளில் உண்டு, ஞானம் உங்கள் நெஞ்சில் உண்டு, வானம் உங்கள் கைகளில் உண்டு, ஞானம் உங்கள் நெஞ்சில் உண்டு, நான் என்று எண்ணாமல் நாம் என்று உறவு கொள்ளணுமா, உன்னால் முடியும், ஆஹா உன்னால் முடியும். So he says the Kalluri. So there was at that point of time the schools were not functioning and all that, especially in this school. But nowadays things have changed. Our schools are all functioning, and we have very good. Our education is good nowadays. Things have changed a lot. And he says the literacy should be 100%. Kallada pergal illada naadu nam naadu. There should be not even one person who is illiterate, who doesn't know to read or write. So Kerala, they say, has 100% literacy rate, and next comes Tamil Nadu, maybe little lower, maybe 80%, 90%, like that. So we should have 100% literacy rate throughout the country. If that is a dream put forth by the lyricist, not sure who is the lyricist, it may be Vairamuthu or Wali, I'm not sure. So Vanamungal Kaigalil undu. The entire sky is in your hands. Like if you dream, you can achieve anything. And Nyanamungal engineer undu. You have the wisdom. If you think and act, you all have the wisdom within us. That wisdom is still within us, and you can do it. Okay. So that is unnal mudiyum thambi song. So that's the song for you guys. So what happens after all this motivation and all that? Finally, Kamal Haasan and Sita devise a plan, right? So the Sita says, all the ladies of this village, you should not have sex with your husbands. If you refuse to have sex with your husbands, they will and then demand them not to drink, they will definitely oblige. So that is I don't know, I never read in any textbook this type of a plan, and whether it can really work, I'm not sure, but that's what this fantasy, right? This is a fantasy. Any movie is just a fantasy. The director wants this dream. So this is the strategy out there. So whether it will work in real life, I don't know, but Sita does it. She talks to all the ladies and stops them from having sex with husbands. And then when Sita and this Kamal Haasan were trying to get married, they want to get married. So at that point of time, without acknowledgement from the father also. So Bilahari Martha Gemini Ganesan motivates all these guys. See, you guys are not having sex with your wives. This guy has done all this, these two. But these two people now want to have a happy married life and have sexual life and all that. Don't allow this. Go and stop the marriage. So all these guys in a drunk state come and they stop the marriage. They say, see, you have stopped us from having sex with our wives. You should not have a married life. Then they say, if you are so much interest in our lives, can you just stop this marriage? And if you stop this marriage, we will stop drinking. That's the challenge given by the guys. And Kamal Haasan and Sita accept that offer. They stop the marriage and ask them to stop alcoholism. That's the challenge, and they all stop drinking. We are finally moved by the decision taken by Kamal Haasan and Sita together to stop their marriage just for the well-being of the thousands of people in the village. So they really get moved by that decision and they stop drinking all together. And then they focus on agriculture. The entire village becomes a very beautiful green place. You cannot even put a single kuppa in any place. Any rubbish you cannot put it on the roads. It's like Singapore. You have to put it only in a dustbin. In a village in Tamil Nadu. So he develops a lot of discipline in this guys, and it's a model village. They call it Amaidi Purachi Iyakkam, and they recruit 28 more villages. It's in a similar fashion. They do a reformation in that particular area, and a minister who happens to go by that way is V.K. Ramasamy. That's a very hilarious first scene with V.K. Ramasamy. என்னடா இந்த ஊர்ல இப்படி இருக்கீங்க எல்லாரும், யாருமே குடிக்க மாட்டீங்களா, like that. என்னது குடிக்க மாட்டீங்களா? So like that it goes on. என்னடா யாருமே எனக்கு வணக்கம் வைக்க மாட்டீங்க, யாரா ஒரு சின்னவர். So like that V.K. Ramasamy has his own style of launching the movie. So it's a very nice movie. I ask you to request you to go watch in YouTube or in television or whatever. Of course, it's free to watch on YouTube. So like that. So the V.K. Ramasamy, bloody, he says, he keeps saying bloody. Bloody, like that he goes on. It's very hilarious. The V.K. Ramasamy, a very veteran comedian. He's done very beautiful roles in many movies. I even was watching Veerapandiya Kattabomman recently for the sake of a novel I'm writing. And Veerapandiya Kattabomman's Yettappan, you must be knowing of Yettappan. Yettappan is V.K. Ramasamy in that movie. So V.K. Ramasamy delivers his roles to perfection. He's a great actor. And here he comes to know about what's happening. He's a minister. Bloody, na eppiyume pesa maatenda, ena vaai thoran bloody thanda varum, like that he says. And then finally he talks in the parliament about this particular village, how Mr. Udayamurthy has transformed this entire village, and it comes in the parliament, and then it comes in the newspapers. That news becomes talked over the entire nation, and the Prime Minister now wants to come and visit the village in person and honor this guy. Right? So the Prime Minister himself comes to the village, they organize a function, and then they honor this one, Udayamurthy. When the father then tries to go there, and he says, who are you? Then he says, Bellary Marthanapalli. Who is Bellary? Stand outside, they're saying. Then he says, I am the father of Udayamurthy, and then they allow him on the stage. And then he announces in the mic, I am the father of Udayamurthy. The Tirukural he said initially, Magan Thandaikku Aatrum Udavi, Avan Thandai Ennotran Kollinam. So that is the best thing a son can do for his father. What a great son he has given to this world. And now Bellary Marthanam himself is a very transformed man. He gets moved, he gets shaken by the change the son has done. He is in fact is transformed, and he approves a marriage of Sita. He in fact conducts the marriage of Sita and Udayamurthy, that is Kamal and Sita, on the stage. He does the marriage, and that's how and he says, I'm going to start singing for the general public, I dedicate my music for the goodness of the society. So he takes that decision also. So the transformation of Bellary Marthanam, Gemini Ganesan, is the final last. That's how the movie ends. So I thought it's very relevant to talk, especially it's என்ன சொல்றாங்க, இது தெய்வீகமா நடந்து போச்சு. That on the Republic Day I'm talking about this, although I didn't plan it that way. It happened on a Republic Day, which means on a Republic Day we should all take this vow that ennala mudiyum, I can transform my world, the people around me, the patients around me, or whatever, the small, especially the downtrodden. I help the downtrodden people. I will not drink alcohol. I will encourage people not to drink alcohol, abstain from drugs. Right? So these are the things, decisions you can take on the Republic Day. Apart from our stand-up comedy and all that jolly with Jay and all that, today we'll take this decision to do our best to help people who are suffering around us, to help them whatever way we can, either financially or by giving them some knowledge, giving some ideas, doing some counseling, doing some mental health help each other. That's how we all have to help, join hands, help each other, create a better nation, create a better village, create a better town, create a better city, you know, a much healthier, where people are doing, looking at the health and mental health, especially abstaining from the illegal substances or alcohol and other illegal substances. Today is very, very important that we stop. We have our own self-control. Whether the government is selling or not, it's your hands which are going to go and buy that drink and going to drink. It's your hands which buy that cigarette and smoking. It is your hands is buying the drug and using it. Stop that. Stop that. It's affecting your family. It's affecting your name. It's affecting your personality. It's affecting your life. Right? That's the small message I want to give to youngsters or anybody using substance, to just focus on their families, give up any, not only substance addiction, even behavioral addictions. It's Instagram reels or pornography or internet chatting or whatever. I don't know what you are addicted on the mobile, or it's OTT or whatever. Try to de-addict yourself and have a very positive, contributory future. Start living in a contributory way. So thanks for watching, everyone. I'll meet you in the next program with another song, another movie, and some other jokes. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. If anybody wants to talk or type, you can just type. If you want to interact. If there are no interactions, I'll just wind up.